there's a marketplace of professionals out there now. If there's going to be a big restyling, or if a tree historically needs to be revamped, in order to make sure that that happens responsibly, you have to have people that have proven that they can handle that kind of work and not be, say, overimposing
Right.
on that tree. Like, I think there's different scopes of work that a professional has to be oriented towards being able to pull back their own desire for that tree and kind of work within the construct of the shape and style and spirit of it, but still do the necessary things to continue evolving it. That's a difficult, how do you formulate those boundaries for yourself as a professional is a very difficult question.
Right.
But it's not like it's not like something that hasn't been done or hasn't had to be analyzed, because this is kind of at the base root of Japanese bonsai. You know, it's like, how imposing are you on these historical trees? Because there are a lot of historical trees, and I think for collections to potentially bid out the job, much like anybody else would. We have this piece of work, we recognize we need an expert to come in and do it. We have ideas, but let's put it out there and see what the proposals are for the scope of work for this tree, and have professionals present what they would do to it, you know? Like, why wouldn't we do that?
No, and make it an event, and you know,
Exactly.
get the community involved.
Yeah, the limitation at this point in time, with the ability to distribute information as readily as we have it, the limitation, if somebody deems there a limitation to accomplishing things in a setting like a collection where you have historical trees, there are so many people that willingly and wantingly support the continued perpetuation of bonsai history and recognize its value, that I just don't believe that you couldn't come up with the funding and the capacity to create an event around special trees and have that be a continued collection building moment for those historical pieces to be evolved. I mean, and I think what's intimidating is it's like, then it starts to pull in, okay, now you gotta market it, and now you gotta, but it's like, as a public collection, that is, I think, what most collections are starting to recognize, is if you don't have that stuff to begin with, the collection probably is not going to be successful. Is there 16? Oh, here it is. So, kind of an interesting dialogue, just the whole notion of curation is. But I think the thing that we are going to get to very, very quickly, there has been I would say a bit of a significant evolution in our thoughts about bonsai and the physiology and the horticulture and a lot of technique in the past maybe 10 years. There's been a big transition, and whenever you have a transition like that, you're naturally going to go through the stages of maturation in that transition. And now we're reaching a point where, with those applied techniques, we're getting the trees to these aesthetics where they have to be readdressed again, you know, or and then how do we responsibly handle the scope of work that is, you know, the restyling process, or